Hello from Chucky Land. So today we're gonna do, I'm not sure yet whether I'm gonna put this video up yet today. I have a Country Roads Take Me Home that I'm putting up. That is from Gold Mine Road through to Likens, Pennsylvania. I was on my way over to Millersburg to clean my grandparents' cemetery stone. I actually split that into two videos because it wound up being rather long. So Likens was a good place to stop. So I'm currently loading that, but I want to do a mail time, a little bit of a vlog. So I want to say thanks as always to Jay. I got your card. It says just one happy moment can make a whole day brighter. So I am doing better. I'm feeling pretty good. I just have to sort of be careful with how much, especially in this heat, how much I'm out there. We're in the process of some stuff happening that when it happens, it'll sort of change things short-term and long-term for me in a good way. And then some determinations on my health can be made and we can go from there. But this Saturday, I am going to attempt, unless something changes drastically, like I get sick or whatever, I am going to be going out to the Schaefferstown Cherry Festival. It's run by Historic Schaefferstown Incorporated. Really cool event, and they'll be having an event at the end of next month. They'll be doing one that is the World War II weekend. So I want to try to make Sunday on that, because I believe Saturday, if I'm able to, I want to do the second year in a row. We're going to do the Myerstown in a time of war for the Isaac Meyer Homestead. And that's just a sit-down type thing. I'm actually going to bring some chairs along and some other stuff just to make sure everything's taken care of for everybody, because I'm assuming it's probably going to, this seems to be a little bit of a hotter year, a much rainier year, but very hot so far. So depending on what thing is, this year I'm probably not going to be able to do any of the walking tours, just because if certain things happen in a certain way, I'm not going to be capable of doing the walks in October or November. But hopefully I will be able to do a sit-down version with the haunted tales, and maybe this year we can actually have a fire that I can tell these stories by. I want to try to start having these walking pamphlets that you can go on a walk yourself, just and each one's going to be a little different, focus on some different places and that type of stuff. There's also some other things I'm sort of looking at, possibilities of things that we can do. Not sure whether they're feasible yet or not, but swinging them around. But anyways, then in November would be the Victorian Christmas for Isaac Meyer Homestead, and that's something I can do sitting down and talk about. That's probably all I'm going to be able to do this year, and then hopefully next year I'll be able to start doing some of these more public things, get back to the walks. Also, I'd like to have our first YouTuber get-together, meet and greet. The first one I'd like to do in Millersburg, just because it's just such a cool town. It's a great family experience, and there's a lot of different really unique things around there to do, whether it's the Ned Smith Art Center and Nature Center. For Halifax, you also have Camp Tobias, or whatever that is. It's like an animal thing. It's a really cool thing for the family. Or Lake Tobias. I don't know why I couldn't think of that for a second, but Fort Halifax is right nearby. Not a ton to do there, but they do have events from time to time. There is a really cool, the old municipal center is a 3-story museum for Millersburg and Upper Paxton Historical Society. They have the old rail station. There's the main street is really, really cool. And then to eat, there's places like the Wooden Nickel. I just ate there on Sunday when I did my grandparents, which is when the Country Roads Take Me Home video, the first part, that's getting put out today, Wednesday the 25th of June. Coming out shortly will be another Country Roads, which will be lichens to Millersburg. We will have a homage to history for Elmer and his wife Helen Walborn, and also his youngest sister Effie Walborn. He actually had quite a few more siblings than I realized he did. I went and looked it up, and I only knew he had a sister Anna, and his dad had a previous marriage, and his wife had passed, and he had a older sister and brother. He actually had another sister and I think another brother as well, and it was just sort of like, I didn't know that. So it was sort of, I want to research them as well and see if I can find them. At some point when I get back to Millersburg, I want to try to take you on a ride with the Millersburg Ferry. I would also like to do the Following the Walborns part 2, which is the 4 generations that are buried in Oak Hill Cemetery there in Millersburg. I got to do a lot more research on that. But I also have a video on the Henninger Farm Covered Bridge that I will be putting out in the coming days. The return to my brain actually working. Cold Springs Resort. There's also a video that I keep on forgetting about doing something with. I want to do the history, hometown foundations for lichens, but there's also a video that I have a lot filmed for the Gemmerling Rex House. I believe it's a Gemmerling Rex House, which is the old 1700s tavern that's run by Historic Schaefferstown Incorporated. I did this last year. I believe it was for the Harvest Festival, so this is 8 months old, but I'd like to put that one out. And a bunch of different ones we will have coming up. I didn't know that about my hometown history. Episode 3 will be coming out, which will be dealing with the true first migration north for African Americans. The one that's sort of the Great Migration, or they have it known as the first migration north, was in the early 1900s through probably 1920s, and that's where a lot of people that were descendants of slaves, former slaves themselves, went north to places like Detroit, Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, New York City, and so on. And that's where a lot of these historically black neighborhoods were founded, if you will. But there is an earlier migration, I guess it's sort of part of all that, but from like right around 1870, when you sort of had Reconstruction ending in the South, through up to that period, there was a migration north sort of over that 30 years. That includes the town of Africa out near Greenpoint, Pennsylvania. I want to discuss that because there is just nothing out there about it, which is a shame because it was such a phenomenal thing that the former Underground Railroad did, and the courage of people going north with nothing and not knowing what they were going to be facing. And sometimes they faced more racism. You know, you look at the whole movement to free the slaves, you know, they were all about that. But then when you started having these amendments that gave them the right to vote and things of that nature, all of a sudden there was sort of a change in attitude. Like, we want them to be treated not as slaves or used as slaves, but to be treated equitably was like a bridge too far, and we want to discuss that. So what that time period, that 30-year time period was before the Great Migration North took place. And I think a lot of times it's largely forgotten, the courage of those individuals that went north during that period. And then we'll focus on that area of Africa, and then the story of Joseph Johns and the reason why that area, like many other areas that were chosen to be those first founding villages, why they were chosen. And really cool story. So I think you guys will enjoy that. I want to try to get another episode up of America, Hometown History's Greatest Inventions. I think we'll be going with Arkansas And the reason being is I want to try to start resurrecting some of these series where I can do stuff from home. Because when stuff starts to happen health-wise, and I don't really want to disclose anything at this stage, but once that starts happening, I'm not going to be terribly mobile. Maybe quite a ways away yet, I don't know, but I have a feeling it's coming up relatively soon. It just is reliant on a couple other things sort of happening first, but it's just sort of the nature of how this is going, and the next year or so, maybe 2 years, will be interesting. But I'm hoping by mid-year next year I will be in a much better place where a lot of the issues that are plaguing me right now will not be plaguing me anymore. I did put up, and I will flip around the camera to show you this, I got the new phone holder for doing Country Roads Take Me Home. With the new rules, I will explain in the Country Roads Take Me Home, I have to do things a little differently. I've got to show you that I'm starting out in a parking lot, so nobody can accuse me of messing with that phone while I'm driving or just at a stoplight or whatever, because the ramifications of that are not great. And it's there for a reason. It's a good law that's in place, but sort of been preparing for this, and maybe at some point I wind up switching over to a GoPro. Kid Card had given a bunch of money to do that for that reason, so I have that set aside to do so. But I'm also holding off of putting something in Chuck at this stage, because that will probably be going in. As much as I love Chuck, and we'll bring him out here and again to do adventures with Chuck, but there will be a new vehicle replacing Chuck here, hopefully in the next couple months. So that will allow me to go on longer road trips or whatever I'm capable of doing over the rest of the year, because I'm really not sure what that is at this stage. It's sort of uncertainty in that regard. Part of this video, though, being a mail time, was not just that card. Somebody sent me something really, really cool with the couple new series that I'm doing, a Homage to History. I am lugging around a lot of heavy water jugs and all that kind of stuff, and as you guys know, I struggle with my walking. So I was sent something here at home, and I have no idea who sent it, but I just want to make sure I say a big thank you. I'm also going to show you our new business cards. I have a pen, and I'll also show you the holder when I do these lecture events. And that's another thing that will hopefully be coming out maybe this weekend. I'll try to get the original Kaufman Cemetery video, where it was my test video, get that out to you guys. I gotta do the Christ Lutheran Church in Belgrove. I had done that originally, and then the video got corrupted and there was issues with the old phone. So I need to get that done as well for you guys, because it's a pretty cool little cemetery, and it's a pretty little church up on a hill surrounded by fields primarily. Old schoolhouse there, and it was built around 1850. It's just a neat little church. It's no longer a Lutheran church anymore. It's now, I think, one of these non-denominational churches that have thankfully taken over that building and are continuing its tradition of service to the community. But it just is a church building with so much history. So we want to show you guys that. I'm starting to get stuff up every single day again. It's not the easiest, but I'm actually getting out filming live, but I'm being very, very careful. For those of you that are wondering, I am very much pacing myself. And this gift as well that I'm going to show you is going to be such a lifesaver. So whoever sent this, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is such a cool gift, and I'll show you, and you guys will understand why, because I have so much equipment now that I got to take. Most cemeteries I've done so far, the cemetery stones have been literally right next to where I can park Chuck, so it hasn't really been an issue. The ones I was doing up in Ravine, I just put out the one for my great-grandfather and grandmother, Irwin and Carrie Brown. That's a hard cemetery for me to walk, even though for most people it would just be bing, bang, boom. for me, it's difficult. It just is a hard one for me to walk. This thing will save me ridiculously. So let's flip this around and show you this, and then we'll talk about a couple things. So here you have the original one that we filmed off of, and the phone would just connect on the magnet onto that. This one now allows me, and I was able to move it to the right a little bit. So now I did test footage. I just went and get some Chinese over in Jonestown, and I'm back here at home. I tested it out from there over here, and it works fantastically. It focuses correctly. I tried it for a short bit when I did the first country roads, and you'll get to see a little bit of that. It was the way I was able to twist it a little bit and get it so it actually is staying, because the arm here was showing up on the left side of the video, so it was focusing on the nearest object. So your farther view when you're doing a country road, you have to have that view outwards to make it a good video, and it just wasn't focusing. And I think that's part of the reason this one's been a little bit of a problem. The focusing on it wasn't that great, because it was sort of hitting the windshield wipers because it's looking right into them, and that was causing some focus issues. Whereas this being up higher, I'm probably going to switch it again just to put it in a better place, but it's a very sturdy thing. I'm very happy with it. So we're going to go inside. I'm going to show you the business cards and a couple things. I even got a pen made up, and show you this awesome gift and go from there. Oh, nice. Here is the gift. This would work fantastic with the Homage to History. It has all the room for all my supplies. I'm assuming that's why somebody sent it to me, because they probably knew. You can even take some drinks and put them in here. It's a really, really neat cart that you can sort of fold up so it doesn't take up that much room, and it's just big solid wheels and all that. It's just such a neat gift. So for whoever sent this to me, thank you. It's just such a cool gift, and it is going to get a lot of use. It's going to make my life a lot easier with this Homage to History series, because then I don't have to lug things back and forth. Okay, so the next, here is the pen. I decided to order one because I want to offer them up for people and stuff like that. Just sort of cool, and it works really well, but sort of neat having that pen. I got a total of 500 cards. This is the holder that I'll have at my lectures and those types of things. A little easier access, and the new cards. Little different than the old cards. I will show you the differences. The front is primarily the same. I think the colors over here are a little different. The back gives a bunch more information, which I sort of like. I get the chance to say a couple of different things. Gives you the phone numbers, contacts, way to look at things with the P.O. box. If you want to send cards or gifts or messages or whatever, you have these different options. It's just sort of a cool thing. I was really happy with it. So let me show you guys the old cards. Alright, so here's the old card. So the front is basically exactly the same. The back is what is different. In all truth and honesty, I could not get... I dropped it. I couldn't get this little image thing to work with me. I just finally gave up. And then I found this other one that works just a lot better, because it just gives you a lot more information, because this is basically the same information on here that you have on the front. So it's just sort of cool having that extra stuff. But that's the old cards in comparison to the old ones. So just once again, I want to say a big thank you. That card is just phenomenal. Really, really neat. But I want to be doing a bunch of different things as we get some of these things solved coming up. I'm planning on doing quite a bit with the Patreon. I actually want to start sending things to people once I get the store open. there's a lot of work that has to be done there. But a lot of different cool things that I want to really focus on getting myself ahead video wise, and then getting some of these older series that I sort of put in place exactly for this reason, more for overwinters when I can't do as much filming. But depending on what happens health wise, I want to make sure I have series that I can continue the channel grooving and continue to put out content and do that kind of thing. Whole bunch of different opportunities are starting to present themselves as well. I do got to get up maybe this weekend, hoping I got with the new Unwrapping History with the baseball cards and football and basketball cards. I got a new tripod that's specifically for the phone. So I am going to attempt to use that to get the first of the Lebanon PA 250 videos out, concern of the Hanover Resolves. I also would like to get the first of the true Visit Lebanon Valley videos and start doing these sort of at the same time. I know what my first two episodes are going to be, and probably what the third one is going to be as well. Will probably be Cornwall Iron Furnace, but I want to hit a bunch of these different places that are a major part of the very early history of the Lebanon Valley, and have something to do with our freedom, with the revolution, and those types of things, because I think they're important things to make people aware of what we have right in our backyard. But there'll be some other stuff, like I said, the lecture series we're going to be continuing. We have two of them done. I just have to get them out. There's another three that I need to film, and then the Myerstown at a Time of War. Get that done and go from there. But as always, I want to say thanks for coming along on another one of these vlog mail time videos, being up to more adventures and whatnot. I think we have a lot of cool stuff. We're going to be making a trip up to Shamokin at some point, again, to sort of hit everything that we hit the last time. But there's also a whole section of monuments that I completely missed. I'd like to hit those as well with you guys. And then we'll go from there. As always, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you all about town.